Hey guys, Tito James here. Welcome back to the channel where we take awesome out of the box. You read the title. I spent 72 hours or 3 days with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 and I want to share my experience with you guys. But first, mag-quick unboxing muna tayo which I filmed on day 1. So here it is guys, ito yung box ng Z Fold 3 and just like the Flip na in-unbox ni Leia over the weekend, it's two-toned and sobrang nipis niya, so we know that this is definitely gonna be a quick unboxing. So when you open it up, you get the phone itself and like I said guys, fresh na fresh pa siya, it's all wrapped up and we have the Phantom Black color for this device. Aside from the phone, it's pretty much the same stuff that you got from the Flip. You have a SIM ejector pin, some documents, and the charging cable. So yun, tapos na yung unboxing, really fast, just like the Flip. No charger, but I think Samsung is throwing it for free if you're gonna pre-order the Z Fold 3, along with some other stuff that amounts to around 27,000 pesos. And this actually gives me a great segue to talk about the price of this phone. If you've been watching videos for the Fold and the Flip, you know that Samsung has made it cheaper this time around. I mean, hindi pa rin siya mura guys, but I do have to give it to Samsung for lowering their price. So the Fold 3 is now 87,990 pesos for the base model. That's with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, and 95,990 for the top tier model with the same amount of RAM and double the storage at 512 gigabytes. So again, hindi siya mura guys, but for context, the Z Fold 2 launched at 110,000 pesos. So significant pa rin yung price drop niya. Pero just like what Leia said in her Flip video, if you're thinking about these foldables last year, mapapaisip talaga kayo this year. But how has the experience of using this device for the last 3 days been? Well, let me try to break it down for you guys in 5 points. The first one being, I felt a lot more comfortable using a foldable with this one. Now, hindi ko alam kung psychological effect lang siya or na-brainwash ba ako sa presentation ni Samsung about the frame being 10% more durable and the phone having the best protection available, pero I was more confident with the Z Fold 3. It felt really good in the hand, as in ang solid niyang hawakan pero ang soft pa rin ang touch ng matte finish. The buttons on the frame gives a satisfying tactile feedback, and I guess because I got to spend a lot of time with the second version of this phone, I'm so used to the folding motion na hindi na ako natatakot because the first one, sobrang ingat na ingat talaga ako. Samsung also said that the Fold 3 was lighter this time around, pero to be honest with you guys, hindi ko siya naramdaman, which I guess is a good thing since you do want to feel a little bit of heft with a device this expensive. Now, in terms of pocketability, kaya naman kung kaya. I don't wear skinny jeans. I mean, we haven't been going anywhere, but I'm guessing kaya naman siya. But maybe not for the ladies since maliliit yung pockets nila. Personally, I would carry this in my sling bag just because of its thickness. Now, on to the second point I want to talk to you guys about, which is the cover screen, because medyo mahirap pa rin siyang gamitin. So, no doubt, in terms of the specs, it's a whole lot better with a faster refresh rate and you can really tell the difference if you're coming from the Fold 2. Pero, ang hirap pa rin niyang gamitin, or I just need more time to adjust to it again because sobrang narrow nga ng aspect ratio nito. Especially for me na medyo malaki yung kamay, the default keyboard just feels a little cramped, so talagang pang quick reply lang siya. Or if you want to see what's going on sa mga group chat nyo, or for quickly scrolling through FB or IG on your spare time. It's really the main screen here where you're going to be doing a lot of the work, which brings me to point number 3, the software improvements for the main display. So multitasking is pretty awesome to do here because of the size, and the features are pretty much the same as last year's. We can open up to 3 apps, but my absolute favorite one is using that floating pop-up. The biggest addition for me this time around is Galaxy Labs, which basically gives you a bit more control over apps to make use of the entire main display. The perfect example for me for this one is Instagram, which was super pet peeve for me on the Fold 2 because once you opened it up, there was so much wasted space on the main screen. As you can see here, I've launched it in default settings, but if you tweak it in Labs, you can adjust to go full screen and boom, it now uses the entire display. Of course, I can't not talk about the under-display camera, so if you're expecting that it'll be completely camouflage, you're gonna get really disappointed, especially if you use a darker wallpaper since AMOLED panel yung gamit nila dito, you will see it. But if you're on a voice call or have a bright wallpaper like I do, you still kind of notice it, but you notice it less, especially if your eyes are focused in the middle of the screen. Not perfect, pero pwede na. Now, I was really looking forward to testing out S Pen support on the Z Fold 3. Unfortunately, I don't have a compatible one with me, so let's just move on to the fourth point, which is the general performance of this phone. I have no complaints so far, and for those of you who are asking kung Exynos processor ba yung gamit nila para dito, you'll be happy to know that you're using a Snapdragon 888. And like I said, no complaints so far. It's the best processor that we have available to us at this point in time, and I've experienced zero hiccups with the Fold 3. Now, if you're a fan of the numbers, here are some benchmark scores, and honestly, the difference between the three devices that you see on screen isn't too big of a deal. Without looking at these benchmarks, I doubt you'll be able to tell the difference because I certainly didn't. And while the target for this device is probably more for titos and titas my age, I did try playing some Wild Rift on the Fold 3, which this phone made short work of, although I'm not sure if the aspect ratio gives you a disadvantage for map awareness. It does look really good though. By the way, if you're a Netflix buff, you may want to know that the phone doesn't currently support it, but all it will take is an update from either Samsung or Netflix, so I wouldn't really make that a factor. I still thought you should know though because it was a bit of a bummer for me. Anyway, let's move on to camera performance, and I'm pretty happy with the snaps I've taken so far. Remember, we're on lockdown, so bear with me here. Even though you're not getting crazy megapixel counts here, I think they do quite well. Then again, the wife and I do like the way Samsung does their post-processing. The wide and ultra-wide angle camera have pretty good detail and dynamic range. Plus, I think the low light shot of my tiny RX782 is pretty decent. By no means do I think this is going to be the best of the best in terms of mobile photography, but again, I'm pretty happy with the results, limited as they are. But do check out our Instagram for a couple of more sample photos and let me know what you think. Now, my biggest concern in terms of performance is actually with the battery life, which is point number 5. So the capacity is a little lower than the Fold 2, 4,400 versus 4,500 milliamp hours. And while I can't give you guys a fair estimate on this just yet, having 120 Hz on the cover screen and the main display is definitely gonna have the phone take bigger sips out of that battery. I'm thinking the best case for this is a full day at the office, depending on what you're doing, of course, after which you'll need to top up this device when you get home. Check back when you do a full review for an update on this. Also, the charging time is not the fastest at 25 watts, so if you've been spoiled by something faster, just keep that in mind. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this video about my first 72 hours with the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3. Again, there's more to cover with this device. I'm sure I haven't gotten to at least half of what you need to know about this phone. Stay tuned for the full review, but before we end this video, I do want to recap the price. Again, guys, 87,990 pesos if you want the base model with 256 gigabytes of storage. If you want double that, that's 95,990 pesos. Again, both of them have 12 gigabytes of RAM. And there you have it. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, sub to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can. For all the latest in tech, head to unbox.ph, plus follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Listen to our podcast on Spotify. My name is Tito James. Peace. God bless. See you guys next time. And of course, stay safe.